Bruh. Yeah.
God, why is it so hard to get a PS5? Wait, Ignacio, you're rolling? Hey, everybody. I missed you guys. How y'all doing? Are you guys doing okay? Well, in any case, hey, how's it going? For those of you just tuning in for the first time, my name is Miguel Baltazar. I currently work at Netflix Animation Studios as a storyboard revisionist, and I like to make these videos for fun. Hopefully, these videos can inspire and help people who are just either starting off their storyboarding journey or just need a little extra push, to get them to that next level. So today, I want to be able to discuss from start to finish how I went about making one of my storyboards. And in this case, my storyboard Beach Day Blues, which is already up on my website. And for any of you who have not checked that out, please do. The ultimate goal of this video is to hopefully by the end of it have that pressure taken off of you to create a masterpiece, to create the most perfect thing you've ever done. In the end, a story sequence for a portfolio or for any other outlet is a way for you to just express yourself and just get your ideas out there. And so hopefully by this, you guys can just feel compelled to just make your own stuff without any pressure and to mainly just have fun with it. And just know that this is my way of storyboarding. You guys can storyboard in any way you want, but the key is to find a process and workflow that is ideal to you and will lend itself to consistency and, you know, results in the end. You want to be able to actually finish the thing and not just scrap it halfway through. So the first step that I took in creating the sequence was the inception of the idea. How did I actually go about to create the concept for Beach Day Blues? And for some people, it's either writing a script and actually detailing out the events of the story, or sometimes you can take the approach of a board driven show or a board driven artist where they just write an outline and they just kind of go from there. And most of my sequences before have kind of been in that workflow where I don't necessarily write a script, but I write down an outline of what the scene is. And in this case with Beach Day Blues, it was just very simply, the character and the emotional states that they go through. Andy Kung is a great resource to follow, and he does a lot of great workshops. And in one of the workshops that I attended, he talked about how a scene can be broken down into 4 emotional beats. And in this case with Beach Day Blues, I just went with that structure, and it helped a lot because this is a very character. This computer, man. This is a very character-driven piece, and the main focus was going to be on the emotions of the character. In this case, Daniel, who is our protagonist. And so I wanted the different beats to flow and create variety, because it's not an action piece. It's a very simple but very emotional story that requires a lot of subtle acting, and that's a lot of the stuff, and that's stuff that I was thinking about before I even laid one line on a piece of paper. And so that was what my process was, and that's something that you guys should consider too, is really take the time to think about the story, who the characters are, what the story is going to be, where the acts are gonna go. However you guys structure your story, the main thing is to find a beginning, middle, and end to a story, and also have the character go through a journey, an emotional journey. And in this case with Daniel, he starts off the story very sad and brooding, but by the end of it, he feels very freed and relieved that he's been able to let go of uh, this negativity and emotional weight. And I think that's what helped me be able to run with this story in a way effortlessly, because the character and what their wants and needs were already set up from the beginning. Moving on to the second step that I took, was actually coming up with the concepts for the idea. And what I mean by concepts of the idea, meaning that now I have a character, Daniel, in my head, and I need to be able to bring him to life and to come up with different iterations of this character to see, um, how to best represent him. And this is where, it goes more into character design territory. But I think that coming up with the character first for me is crucial, because whenever we watch stories, hear stories in any sort of capacity, we always resonate towards a character. And in this case, with Beach State Blues, Daniel was going to be our main protagonist. He was going to be the lens, that we see this story through. And so, interestingly enough, before I even went, go into the computer, I come up with my characters traditionally. In this case, I have a sketchbook, which is this one here. This is like a cheap $5 sketchbook that I've had for a couple years now, and I haven't finished it, and I feel guilty about it. But this is pretty much how I start any story, where I come up with the characters and I just have fun with it. And in the end, this whole process, yes, it's about creating a product and having it on your website and hopefully getting people to notice and eventually get employment from it. But at the end of the day, you want to have fun with it, and you want to be able to channel in that passion and energy that we had as kids when we drew stuff or came up with our own stories. So I just create the characters, I have fun with them, I am open to just failing and trying to find different ways to create the characters. And then once I come up with character designs that I like, that I feel are appealing and convey, what I had in my head and convey the personalities that I want, then I go in the sketchbook as well.
Bruh.
And I actually start to do thumbnails traditionally on my sketchbook. Now you may ask, like, why not just do them digitally? Well, again, if you want to do your stuff digitally, again, it's your process. This is just mine. And me, the reason why I like to do thumbnails in my sketchbook is, one, it's a lot quicker for me. Two, I don't have the eraser tool to just erase stuff and start over again. Being able to draw in a sketchbook, you're committing a lot more to the lines that you put down on the paper, and it just gives me a much more freeing experience because I don't have to worry about perfection. I just worry about getting the ideas down and being open to just failing and being open to revise. Because there's the mantra, boarding is reboarding. And so when it comes to even just the thumbnail stage for me, I like to experiment, try different ideas, and it's just so much quicker to draw down a thumbnail, see if it works, and if it doesn't, I can just easily cross it out and draw another one in pretty much record time. Not that there is a record for that.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And then from there, I finish thumbnailing everything out, and I know that that's not going to be the final product. And that's the beauty of storyboarding, is that you can storyboard something out first, have a first rough pass, but you know that it's going to get better over time, because the more you look at it and the more you try to figure out how the story works. And that's the thing. I always try to remember what the story is and find ways to create shots around that. And that's definitely stuff I can talk about later. But pretty much that's just how my process works, at least up until this point. So we talked about the idea, creating the idea, and then coming up with the concepts for that idea. And then we talked about thumbnails. And so from there, once I figured out the characters and I figured out and drew up a schematic for what the story is, then I actually go into this bad boy here and I start to refine the ideas. And before I even storyboard virtually, I actually take the characters that I drew in my sketchbook and I actually go in and try to clean up the characters and try to draw them digitally. Because in a storyboard portfolio, you want to be able to have 1 or 2 pages of character expressions, full body expressions that add more to the story and showcase your skills as a draftsman, but also showcase your skills in being able to convey personality visually. And so I take my drawings into Photoshop and I make them look all nice and pretty. And then from there, I can actually use those character sheets that I made, in this case for Daniel and Guillermo, and I use those as my reference. And this is something that I learned working in animation is that storyboard artists have a lot of reference packs from character designers, and it's just a reference that a lot of artists use to be able to draw out the characters. Because in the end, it's hard for us to draw from memory all the time. We need something to, you know, bounce off of and guide us to be able to make the drawings work and to make them believable and appealing. And that makes my job a lot easier because I don't have to focus on designing while I'm storyboarding. I took care of that already. Now I just go in, and having the designs already done, I can just focus all my time and energy on the story. And now that we've taken care of all of that before we even actually open up Photoshop or whatever program you use to start storyboarding, we've taken care of the main ideas, we've taken care of all the story beats, we've taken care of the character designs. All that stuff is there to then now just give us the chance to focus on actually storyboarding. And the next step that I took in this is to actually take the thumbnails that I did in my sketchbook and redraw them. And now you're thinking, bro, like, you're just wasting time on that. You just did the thumbnails here. Can't you just copy them there? Well, one, I'm too lazy to take a picture of my thumbnails and actually just trying to like crop them and scale them up and stuff. It's just easier for me to rethumb because in a way it's like a second pass of my thumbs. And again, this is just how I do things. But it's a way for me to be able to edit and to improve upon my thumbnails, and actually seeing them in individual panels and going, you know, frame by frame, panel to panel. It gives me a better look at how the story works and figuring out all the techniques and seeing if shots work well together, if there are shots that need to be revised. And it just, again, it gives me a better idea of how to make the story better. That's really the key in all of this. And then from there, once I did the thumbnails, once I got the blueprint of that all set up, and this is the time where you actually really have to consider like how, whether or not the story's working, whether the shots are working, and whether it's clear. That's really the biggest thing.
Bruh.
And so then once you feel comfortable moving on to the next step, then you can actually start roughing out the drawings and being able to refine them a lot more. And of course, for me, I have the thumbnail stage, the rough stage, and the clean stage. Some people just like to go from thumbs to clean, and others like myself like to have that intermediate step, the roughs, to be able to just play it a little safer and see whether or not, now that you're actually applying the character designs to the storyboards, seeing if the expressions work, seeing if the acting works, seeing to make sure that everything is clear and that you're doing it effectively as well. And sometimes if your roughs are clear enough, then you can just, you know, skip that rough step and just, you know, take it to cleans. I like to draw my roughs in red, and then from there, like, then I of course do another pass and you know, draw them in black and white. But sometimes if a drawing's good enough, I'll just take that roughs layer, you know, change it to black, and then that's pretty much cleans. And so I do that again for the entire storyboard. And then once I feel comfortable with how everything is in the rough stage, then I take it to cleans. And then that's where, in a way, I kind of have the most fun. And that's where me being a revisionist kind of helps itself a lot, because then I can just go in and just have fun making the drawings look good, cleaning them up. And it's up to you. Some people like to add, you know, mattes, meaning like, you know, a white layer behind the line drawings. Or sometimes if they're clear enough, sometimes they don't need mattes. But in this case with Beach Day Blues, I wanted to evoke a feeling and a mood of a sunset, and also thematically represents Daniel kind of putting behind that aspect of his life and moving on from that, you know. And so I wanted to be able to at least take more time with the drawings to convey that mood and atmosphere. And also too, as you will see, like the backgrounds are actually like in color. And just know that I was able to reuse that same orange background for almost all of these drawings. And that helped me a lot because I didn't have to redo those backgrounds. And since the story doesn't lend itself to too many camera angles, it was very easy for me to just reuse and rescale drawings. And that's the key. You don't want to be so hung up on details, but at least you want to have enough details in your drawings to, or in your sequences or panels to help the audience understand clearly what you're trying to tell. And with Beach State Blues, there is color, and there it feels like it's really detailed, but the reality is that like in animation, you tend to want to reuse different backgrounds and different um, environments and poses to save time, because you don't want to unnecessarily, do all that work and in the end just be efficient about it. So in that clean stage, I was able to think that way and try to find ways to reuse stuff, or if it's really necessary, actually redraw stuff. But in the end, the clean stage was there for me to really hone in on the mood and tone of the story. This thing keeps shutting down. Yeah, that's pretty much my process. The point is that it shouldn't be complicated. It should be very familiar and easy for you to understand and pick up, because with storyboarding, you're going to be doing a lot of these, and it is very crucial to find the easiest way possible to do something, so that way all your time and energy and skills can be put into the story itself, because that's really the key. And of course, from there, once I finished it, once I was satisfied with how everything was, then of course I exported out all my panels as layer comps, and then I put it up on my website. That of course is another separate process, but in the end I put it up on my website, and I put up my character designs, and I also put up my thumbnails that I did on my sketchbook, and those I just took a picture of and just put them up in a separate reference sheet, and then that was it. And then that's pretty much how I did this sequence. In the end, it was fun for me. It was a chance for me to kind of dig deep within myself and ask myself why I feel the way I feel, and find a way to let people know that it's okay to feel whatever emotions you feel, but at the end of the day, we are here to support each other, and we are all going on our own paths, and we can't compare ourselves to others. It's been said so many times, but I'm here to reassure you that whatever path you're going on, just keep going on it. Find ways to improve yourself, and at the end of the day, have fun. And so that's pretty much how I did my storyboard sequence for Beach State Blues. Oh, also, if you're curious what materials I used for my thumbnails, I used a zebra pen. I don't know the exact name of it. I will put a link in the description to the actual pens. They're really awesome. They're very versatile. Of course, they're pens, so you can't erase anything. And then you notice that I actually use color in my thumbnails, which actually helps a lot with silhouette and shapes. Those are just actually Tombow markers. It's like a I don't know how many packs, like 10, 12 pack of color Tombow markers dual brush. I'll also put a link in the description to that as well. And that's it. That's it, guys. That's all I use when it comes to traditional, because there's so many pens out there. There's so many other types of materials to use, but at least with storyboarding and line work, those are pretty much the materials I use. And again, it's simple. You don't have to, it doesn't break your bank, it doesn't burn a hole in your wallet, and they last a long time too. Anything I missed, Ignacio? I feel like I'm missing something. No? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. So the way I was able to fill in tone behind my line drawings for the characters, I highly recommend you guys check out Tonico Pantoa's YouTube channel, specifically the one where he talks about the tone action pack that he has for Photoshop. It is probably the greatest thing that I've ever bought in my life. It is so easy to just press a button and it fills everything in for you. That guy is a saint, and I highly recommend you guys watch his videos and support him, either through subscribing to his channel, watching his stuff, or even just purchasing that tone pack. That thing is incredible, and that saved me so much time when I was doing this. And that's something I'm going to use for future projects down the line. And that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully I did a good job articulating my process. I always try to keep things very casual and informal, just because that's how I kind of do things. I always try to keep things organic. My workflow has always been very organic and loose, and it's just helped me to alleviate that pressure of wanting to make things great in the end, Beach Day Blues is by no means my masterpiece, but I can see at least the improvements that I'm making with each and every sequence that I do. And I hope to just continue making more stuff. And I hope that you guys can continue to make stuff and tell your stories, because I've had people express how grateful they were for me to just put out this story, because, it tackled something that they haven't seen that many people tackle. And so again, like, that's not me, like, patting myself on the back, but it's just good to know that what we do has an impact on people, and I just hope that you guys can do the same. And I'm just really happy that I'm just able to do what I do. I hope you guys take something away from this video, and yeah, do the thing, share it with other people that you feel would benefit from this. And I hope I can put out more videos soon. I know I've always said that, but the thing for me is that I'm trying to take care of myself as well. So if down the line I don't make a video for a while, that's okay. I'm not gonna feel bad, but at the same time, I feel like I'm at a point now where I feel more comfortable just putting out more videos. And also too, I reached 300 subscribers,
He's so cool.
which is insane. The fact that I had to put out a video at once, but people will come back to it, and I'm just super grateful and thankful for you guys, for supporting me. And I just hope that I can make more stuff down the line, for real. And I will definitely be making a video on that, so be on the lookout. Other than that, what else? I think that's it. You guys are awesome. Keep doing the thing. Be safe out there. Wear your mask. Do all that stuff. And I hope to see you guys soon. Take care, and hasta luego.